Hello, joining you today from my crazy painted little shack in my community in the evening with the fairy lights on to talk to you about cluster feeding. So this is a good evening topic because often it can be the evening or the afternoon or certainly all night long that your baby might be cluster feeding, which just means that they're feeding in clusters. So they're doing a feed and then having a teeny break and then wanting to feed again, and this ongoing process of feed. It's very, very normal. Essentially, it is your body getting feedback from your baby about how much milk it needs to make. So when your baby is stimulating your breasts and wanting to feed more, asking for more and more milk, it's very normal and understandable to worry that you don't have the supply. You don't have enough milk. This is this line we hear, I don't have enough milk. I didn't have enough milk. There's a trick here because in that very moment, you do not have enough milk. Your baby is feeding more because it wants more milk. But that is then feeding back. It's called a positive feedback loop. So that's then feeding back to your body, hey, we want some more milk, please. And your body then, with its total synchronous majesty of hormones, creates more milk. Generally, babies aren't too upset when they're cluster feeding. They're generally just feeding, trying to stimulate your breasts more and more. It's really only when you're feeling sick of that and wanting to try and put baby down or have them suck on a dummy or do something other than what they are primed to do in that moment to increase your supply that you start to have trouble. So you may have some long nights where you're awake and cluster feeding, especially in those early days when baby's trying to help your milk come in. Or as baby's growing, they can sometimes have growth spurts and they're wanting more supply than you have. It can take 6 to 8 weeks for your supply to regulate itself and be in sync with baby's needs. And then it's constantly adjusting after that. So it's certainly very normal in the first couple of days for baby to cluster feed, particularly on the second night, third night, first couple of nights after there. And then even up till the first 6 to 8 weeks is your supply regulating. So prepare for lots of time sitting on the couch. It can be all day and all night while you're still establishing your supply. So prepare yourself for a long time, but it's perfectly normal. Do not fear that you do not have enough milk. It's nature's perfect process. That's one thing. Another thing is that it can be very tempting to give baby a dummy or give baby a top up or something in this time because you're feeling concerned either that your nipples are hurting or that they don't have enough milk. These actions interrupt this process. So if you're giving a top up of formula, that is then depriving your body of the information that it needs to make more milk. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You worry that you don't have enough milk because baby's feeding a lot. You give them formula. Your body doesn't make the milk that it needs to feed your baby. And then you go through the same process again of thinking you don't have enough milk, topping up, and then you actually impact your supply. So stick through those tough times. I know they can be really challenging with all that cluster feeding going on, but believe me that your body will create the right amount of milk for your baby. There have been mothers that have breastfed twins exclusively, and in fact there have been mothers that have breastfed triplets exclusively. So that means less than one breast each per baby. Miraculous. Allow the cluster feeding to occur and your body will make the right amount of milk for your baby.